Yo, what's going on guys? Mush here with a $900 SKYLAKE Gaming PC build. A lot of you guys have been requesting me to do some more SKYLAKE centric builds, and most of you guys also prefer my lower budget build, so I thought let's do a $900 build. And this build is going to be great if you're looking to do some 1080p gaming or even push to some 1440p gaming. If you want to do a bit of video editing or live streaming, this build will also be able to do that. So without further ado, let's get right into this with the CPU. I went with the Intel Core i5-6500 3.2GHz quad-core processor. Now a lot of you guys might be wondering why I didn't go with the i5-6600K. That CPU is going for around $245 to $250, which in my opinion is just a bit too much for an i5. If you guys see the 6600K available for around $220 to $235, I think that would be a great pickup. But at a $900 budget, the i5-6500 makes the most sense. It is still a 3.2GHz CPU, and while the SKYLAKE CPUs don't see mass improvement over previous generation Intel CPUs, you will see modest performance gains, don't get me wrong, but it's nothing ridiculous like when we went to something like Sandy Bridge. But what is great about the SKYLAKE CPUs is that it runs cooler and it consumes much less power. And what's kind of a downer about these SKYLAKE CPUs is that they don't come packed with a generic Intel stock cooler. That's something to a lot of you guys probably isn't a downer since you guys hate those coolers anyway, but you will have to pick up a CPU cooler. I recommend something like the CryoRig H7 for $35. This is a great CPU cooler. And it's not like you're going to want any crazy CPU cooler, you're not doing any insane overclocking. If you pick up something like a 6600K or a 6700K, by all means get a better CPU cooler. But for an i5-6500, the CryoRig H7 is going to do the job just fine. Moving on to the motherboard, I went with the ASRock B150 Gaming K4 ATX LJ1151 motherboard for about $99. So this is a very well reviewed motherboard from ASRock, coming in a great black and red color scheme. Aesthetically, this motherboard looks awesome. As far as feature goes, this is on the Intel B150 chipset, LJ1151 of course, 4 RAM slots, DDR4 2133, and up to 64GB max memory supported. It's got 6 SATA 6GB per second ports and onboard USB 3 headers, so for $100 you're getting an awesome looking motherboard, something that's not going to break the bank too much, and something perfect for a $900 build like this. Moving on to memory, I went with Kingston HyperX Fury Black 8GB, 24GB sticks. This is DDR4 2133. A lot of the DDR4 RAM is super expensive. It's not uncommon to see DDR4 RAM go for like $60 to $70, which 2 years ago would have been pretty common for DDR3 RAM, but I digress. The HyperX Fury Black 8GB is available for only $40, which is a great price for 8GB of DDR4 RAM, and obviously this RAM comes in black, so it does go with the color scheme of the build, which at a $900 budget is probably something you're not worrying about too much, but hey, if it's something that just comes along with the build, that's great. So moving on to storage, for the mechanical drive, I went with the Western Digital Caviar Blue 1TB. So this is going to be your mass drive. This is one of the most popular hard drives on the market. You're going to put all your excess games, movies, media, all that stuff is going to go on the Caviar Blue. For the SSD, you can pick up a Kingston V300 120GB SSD for $40. Somebody shot me a message on Twitter showing me this SSD for this price, and I was like, dude, that's ridiculous. I've known that SSD prices were going down for a long time, but the fact that you can get 120GB for $40 now, that's just insane, and at this point, you can put an SSD like this in just about any build. So on the SSD, you're obviously going to put your operating system on there and your key applications. 120GB is very limiting. That space is gonna go away very quickly. Do not expect to be able to put a lot of games on this because games these days can range from 50 to 60GB for the newer titles. But for your key applications and your OS, this SSD is gonna do the trick at a very great price. For the video card, I went with the XFX Radeon R9 398GB video card for $305, and then there's a $30 mail-in rebate knocking it down to $275. Really great deal for the XFX R9 390 right now. So this video card is amazing. If you're gaming at 1080p, expect to max out nearly every game, and I say nearly because there's always anomalies in PC gaming, whether it be bad ports, poorly optimized games, what have you. But for the most part, at 1080p, you're going to be getting an amazing experience. And the R9 390 can also do 1440p gaming, albeit not as well, of course. But if you're okay with playing some of the higher end games at high settings and getting 45 frames per second, then the R9 390 is going to do the trick. And also, if you're playing at 1440p and you're playing lower end games, the R9 390 is going to demolish a lot of those. I should also mention that if you pick up this GPU right now, you'll also get a free copy of the new Hitman game. So $275 after the mail-in rebate for the R9 390, a free copy of Hitman. This is a stellar deal right now. Moving on to the power supply, I went with the Rosewill Hive 650W 80+ bronze certified semi-modular ATX power supply. $80 for a 650 watt power supply, it's kind of expensive, But hey, it's semi-modular and the Rosewill Hive has very good reviews as well. Since I don't really advocate going for multiple GPU solutions, 650 watts is going to be perfectly fine for one GPU. And for $80, it was a fine addition into the build. Finally, for the case, I went with the NZXT S340 Black ATX mid-tower case. This case is available for $64, and part of the reason I did go with a semi-modular power supply was the fact that the S340 does have a side window, so the easier the cable management is and the less messy your PC is, the better. And the NZXT S340 is regarded as one of the best cases on the market today. Aesthetically, it looks great and it's got a lot of room inside. You have a lot of options for upgrading. And overall, it's a very good case for $64. This case is also available in a variety of different colors. I prefer the black one, but you guys can look at the different colors and make a decision for yourself. So that's gonna wrap up this $900 SKYLAKE Gaming PC build. If you guys have a request for a future PC build, let me know in the comments section down below. I will also soon be doing some regional PC builds. Gotta get back to doing that. I know a lot of you guys have been requesting those. My plan is to do 4 PC builds a month. 2 from the States and then 2 from other regions, whether it be Canada, Australia, or the UK. Just let me know what regions you guys want to see covered. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.